leaving all that behind and wiping the slate clean, that gave me the opportunity to find a new identity for myself here in Thailand. Thailand was the escape I needed, but I didn't move to Thailand because I was brave. It was because I was broken.
And that's part of the reason why I'm here, because my pain threshold was at its limit after 7 years in Australia.
But let's not get into that stuff just yet. First, let's talk about the fun stuff.
After you've gotten over the initial shock of leaving your comfort zone, friends, family, work colleagues, you begin to realize just how abundant the opportunities are that now lay at your feet. Things like riding a motor scooter along the beachfront every day, buying a car and making modifications that may never have been financially feasible back home. Hell, getting a girlfriend, making new friends, meeting people whose lives don't entirely revolve around their 5-day per week, 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. work schedule. Learning a language, finding new hobbies, developing new skills. You will inevitably become more adept at socializing. It just happens automatically. Most people who stay here become funnier, more open, and better at striking up conversations with strangers in the street. That's the beauty of spending time abroad. The changes in yourself are subtle, gradual, and therefore fairly painless.
And only now, 2 years down the track, with the benefit of hindsight, can I see exactly what a state of silent desperation I was in. I was desperate at my job. My mental health, my drinking was in a pretty desperate situation as well. Today, I want to offer a hopeful alternative for people that are feeling the way I was feeling. Not a fantasy, but a path forward.
I won't lie, you will take a hit on some things. Your friends, your family, your work colleagues back home, they're not going to be happy. Initially, they won't be supportive. They enjoy your company now, but do they want the best for you? And why should they, when you're just down the road, available, showing support, providing comfort? They won't want to lose everything that you bring to the table. And family. I'm really big on family. And leaving them is one of the things that grinds at me almost every day here. If my mother or father got sick, I suspect I'd be back home in a heartbeat. That's just how it has to be. But today, they're healthy, so I can take this time for myself. There will be things you miss, and there will be things you lose moving abroad. Cultural fluency, knowing every unspoken rule or joke or reference without having to think about it. Ease of language, speaking with your traditional accent, finding the right words instantly, and understanding slang and nuance, and possessing a default identity, not having to explain at every introduction who you are or where you're from.
If you know me well, you know I'm not into hyping up. I'm not into telling fantasies. That's just not my bag, even if it would sell more videos. So I guess I am really big on reinventing oneself. And look, Thailand is just the setting. The real journey, the real transformation is me or you.
If you feel you're at a point where you're so excited about your dream, so focused on your goal, that you're willing to forsake that default identity that you've held for so long, then I reckon you're ready to follow through on your plans. If you're feeling stuck, if there's something in you that knows there's more to life, you're not alone. I felt it really strongly back in Australia. They say moving countries won't fix a problem you're having in your life. And whilst I think there's some truth in that, if you have a dream and you're feeling confident about it, or you're willing to at least have a crack at it, then you're insulated from failure in a sense, because you'll know that you gave it your best shot. Nothing lasts forever, dreams come and go, and if it turns out that Thailand's not for me, I'm open to trying Vietnam or Cambodia. I'm even open to going back to Australia and trying to find a fresh career. I can tell you what I'm not open to: going back to an industry that I was in for so long, putting my emotional well-being, putting my personal safety on the line in exchange for an okay paycheck, guaranteed employment, subsidized dental,
those things now aren't nearly enough to justify the daily frustration I had in my old life. Stuff it, I'm worth more. And ultimately, I think I wasn't escaping something. I was finding out who I was meant to be from now on. And Thailand may be the backdrop, but transformation is the real story here.
I didn't just get a different job or change suburbs. I decided to leave the entire industry, my entire career, not just my city, but my entire country. My move here and my beginning a YouTube career is inexplicably entwined with exhaustion and being burned out from a career that was not good for my health. With the joy of moving to Thailand and starting a new life, it's also entwined with some pain of realizing back in my home country, I got to a point where I'm so pent up and frustrated that I'm at a point where I want to throw it all in and leave.
Well, I worked full-time in the community services welfare industry, and I was doing some pretty hectic, hardcore stuff with homeless people and ex-convicts and young offenders and drug users in the Cross, in King's Cross in Sydney. And the way I saw myself fitting into the world, fitting into my community in Australia, was that I was a welfare worker. But after 7 years of that, after 7 years of doing that, I was totally burnt out and exhausted. And I couldn't identify as that anymore. Leaving all that behind and wiping the slate clean, that gave me the opportunity to find a new identity for myself here in Thailand. This video today is only an entry point into a series of videos that I'll be making over the next few weeks, doing a deep dive into how I was feeling in my home country that led up to the decision for me to pack it in and leave it all behind. And throughout this series, I'll begin to explore exactly the effect that moving overseas, moving abroad, will analyze the effect that that's had on me and my level of happiness and my health. These are the themes that I really care about, and they can't just be seen to in 1 or 2 videos. It's going to have to take a couple of months. Let me know in the comments if you were feeling like I was feeling, and if in this video series of escape and rejuvenation and reinvention, there's anything you'd like me to touch on, please flick me a message or leave a comment below.